Ellie here with Happy Half Hour for Tuesday. Thank you for joining us today. We're going to start with, talking a little bit about our weekend. We both kind of had super eventful weekends, which was fun.
I was in Florida. And did you fly Southwest?
No, I flew United.
Okay, because my flights were delayed there and back, which I never get delayed on Southwest, but it was fun.
Yeah,
we were
so
in Colorado.
what were you doing in Florida?
I was visiting a good friend of mine who plays baseball up there for spring training. It's the last week of spring training, so I went up and visited him with his wife, and we're like the three amigos in college.
That's
so
awesome.
That was fun, and the weather.
The weather was nice.
Yeah, we laid out in the sun for like 30 minutes and just got.
And he has a bracelet, right?
He has many bracelets, yeah. And some of his teammates were like, "So you're Mark's friend that does the bracelets, right? Like, can I have some?" And I was like, "Okay." So I was handing bracelets out, which was
awesome.
cool. Yeah.
I feel like they're super good tools for athletes. I mean,
For sure.
Just that, just to get you in the right headspace, and it's such a mental game when you're like a professional athlete like that.
The tangible reminders.
And it bonds them probably too, like if a couple of them have it, they're like, "Oh, dude, you got your lucky bracelet on."
For sure, yeah. So that was fun.
That's cool. I was in Colorado actually visiting my little niece and nephew. My cousin just had a baby girl, and the baby girl has a little older brother that's 1.5. So they were super cute. Spent the whole weekend with them, and also went to a few boutiques, did a little business on the side. But that's gonna actually segue into one of my positive news stories for the day. So we were walking around Denver, and we were in this little art district, and there's a bunch of murals everywhere. There's a ton of murals here too,
Denver's
but I
so
love
cool.
seeing them because they're all, the artists are just awesome, and then sometimes they have little inspirational messages and you can take pictures. But we were walking around Denver, we passed this little cute coffee shop, stopped in and grabbed coffee, came outside and noticed this huge mural that said "Be a Good Person," and immediately my mom was there too, and she and I ran over to the sign. We're like, "We gotta get a picture, this is so awesome." It just was like "Be a Good Person" in bold.
So cool.
And as we're walking up to the sign, this guy comes up and he's like, "Oh, you gotta stand right here, like it's perfect, like shadowing and everything." And we're like, "Well, how does this guy know exactly where to stand for the picture?" And then he unlocks the door, and it's actually like his whole company's in there, and we're like, "Wait, what is this? This is a brand? Like, this is awesome." And he goes, "Yeah, why don't you come inside after you're done taking your photo, and I'll show you around a little bit." And
so cool.
He takes us in, and it's kind of like this like dim, cool place with a bunch of apparel like all over the place that says "Be a Good Person." And I was like, "So what is this? Like, this is awesome." And he goes, our whole messaging is just, instead of supporting the current trend of negativity, their number one goal is to remind us to approach our days with optimism and positivity and like a refreshed outlook.
Mm-hmm.
And so they say, it starts one person at a time, which I love because that's kind of
For sure.
our thing as well. It can start in one person
yeah.
at a time, and it's that reminder on their clothes or on their bracelets or whatever they have to just be a good person in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And they collaborate with Make-A-Wish, and they've raised almost $500,000 or a little over $500,000
Wow.
for Make-A-Wish. And I just thought it was super cool, his whole message and his aura, and he just wants to start that trend of positivity. And just like us, we want to brighten up your day in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to brighten it up with your apparel, so check them out. Be a Good Person. They were awesome. He did an interview with me after, so I'll post it on.
I was gonna say, you need to
I'll
post
post it
the
on the
video.
story, and I'll show the mural and everything. It was super cool. And one of the coolest parts, it kind of is also a bracelet story, because my mom immediately after this, he was sharing about his brand, was like, "Here, have a bracelet," and told the story about that. And he was in awe of our company as well. And when two small companies, when you work so hard and to have this common message, it's like it's just awesome. It was meant to meet, and he gave us a bracelet, so it was a little exchange that happened. And I was like, "I'll post about you, you post about us." So it was kind of just this cool encounter, and just so inspiring to see more people just so like empowered by this message of positivity and wanting to spread that in a unique, cool way through apparel and reminders. So that was kind of my little positive, one of my positive
You'll have to post
stories.
the video.
I will post
She
it.
sent it to me yesterday, and I was like, "Yes, post
He
that."
was a super cool guy.
Yeah,
He was super
I love
cool.
that. And was the weather nice there too? Did y'all?
It was so nice. They said it was their first weekend of sun,
Oh my gosh.
which was like
Nothing
like
better than
super
Colorado
sunny
sun.
and crisp air and just beautiful. We went to museum with the kids and
Fun.
walked around the park.
I
Got
love
some
that.
goose poop on the stroller wheels. Just good old times
Got
with the
it late last
fam.
night though. How are you hanging this morning?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Got
Nice
a
and
fresh
refreshed.
start with this show in the morning. So, tell me one of your positive news
Okay,
stories.
I love this story so much. I saw it and I was just like, how cool. This police officer was basically, well, let me start from the beginning. Okay, so this little boy, let me make sure I have his name right. He's 12 years old, Ryan Paul, and he has autism, and he's his parents always taught him in case of emergency, call 911. Just always instilled that in him.
Mhm.
So he loses his teddy bear, his little teddy bear, and he didn't know better, so he called 911 and was like, it's gone. He's like screaming on the phone. He's like, I can't get it, see you soon, and then hung up the phone. So the dispatcher, like in, where was it? In New Jersey, their protocol is if someone hangs up, you have to go out to the scene and make sure everything's okay.
Mhm.
Even though the dispatcher called back and the dad was like, it's fine. So this police officer, and I want to say his name because I want to shout him out, but it's kind of difficult. Let's see. Kari Manzini was called to the scene, and it turned out that he was the perfect police officer for this situation because he had specialized training from the POAC Autism Services on dealing with special needs citizens. So he was really able to work with this little boy and figure out why he called. And of course they found the teddy bears in between his bed, the wall of the bed. And there's a whole video that I'll post too, but the police officer comes back for this interview and the little boy runs up to him and gives him a huge hug and was so happy to see him. And obviously the parents are like, we've tried to clarify what an emergency is to call 911, but it was kind of a blessing that they met this police officer and the teddy bear was found.
That's such a, that's kind of a God thing because
For sure.
for that police officer in particular to answer that call,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm sure, I get stressed out when I lose something that matters
Yeah.
to me. I couldn't imagine, being in that kind of a situation and losing probably your source of comfort.
Yeah.
So many of us gravitate towards things that give us comfort, and when we're in distress or when we're alone and we lose those types of things, it's end all be all.
Yeah.
But that's so awesome of that police officer. So
And
he's
just to handle it
definitely-
so well,
yeah.
there's so
He
many
could
other
have easily
things.
been like, oh, come
Okay,
on,
whatever, and leave. But he
Yeah.
searched the house with this little boy until they found the teddy bear. Now they're family
hero of
friends.
the day.
Yes. Has to be the
Carrie
hero of the
Carter,
day. Kari, yeah.
police officer.
Yes.
And again, we love our police officers. They
So I
do
thought
so
that was
much.
really cute. And
Good work
the
for
video
us.
is so cute, so we'll post that too.
That's awesome. So, my other positive news story, I thought this was super cool because I like Adidas. A lot of people love the brand
Yeah.
Adidas. And just to toot their horn a little more, I had no idea that they recycle plastic beach waste to make some of their shoes. So they're cleaning up the oceans and they upcycle the plastic and make it into thread and put it in their shoes. And they've sold over 5 million of those shoes in 2018. And they're hoping to put it in
It's just
11 million
Yeah.
this year. And I thought that was so cool because they're cleaning up the beaches in a way, they don't make it super known. I don't think, did you know
I
that?
didn't know about it, no.
And they're putting it into their shoe threads, and then they actually just this year, also made the first football jersey out of
Wow.
upcycled plastic
How cool
beach
is that?
waste. So who knows, we might be wearing some upcycled plastic beach
Wait,
waste.
fun fact. So now go
So-
tell your friends, and next time you buy Adidas,
You'll remember
you'll
that.
remember that.
And so many people right now are, trying to clean up in different ways. We
Mhm.
talked about the trash tag.
Yeah.
And then also Four Oceans is another company, kind of similar, great stacking piece, but
Mhm.
they're cleaning up the beach with the little plastic beads.
Everyone's
just
working
think-
together.
Yeah, the more people we can get on this bandwagon,
Yeah.
we're gonna help the earth.
That's true. Who would have thought though, shoot, I don't know, I wouldn't.
I know. shoe threads.
Yeah, shoe
Which
threads.
kind of makes sense because then it would be like a little more coarse, you know, like
Yeah.
more stable probably.
Yeah.
But so creative and so awesome. So love that.
Adidas. I was always a fan, so now I'll have to be more of one.
I am a fan. Definitely.
That's all I own shoe wise. Okay, my last story is about this retired Army vet, Christy Gardner.
Okay.
She had both her legs amputated, and she got a service dog whose name was Moxie, and just to help her day to day, do daily tasks and just be there for her. She said that, quote, that dog has literally changed my life. Moxie pulled her out of a deep depression and
Saved her from a suicide attempt.
and just was that support for her during that time. And so I love how she says she's pawing it forward, but she now is training dogs who are disabled, or she has one I think she's training that's disabled, to be a service dog for an elementary school, just to share the message that, or make students feel that it's okay to be different, because the dog has
like a deformed paw
Yeah.
or something, was it?
yeah. So, and it's being funded and supported by people all over. But what a cool concept,
And
especially to take it to little kids who might have a disability and don't know how they fit in, or
There's so much in social media and in everything in TV shows right now that's just like, if you don't fit in, you don't belong. And I feel like something, even just like, and dogs are such a great way to connect in a different way, and
Yeah.
to make you feel good, and they're such great companions. And also it was National Puppy Day this weekend, so
Right.
that's perfect.
Right, I left that part out. Yes.
Remember that part, but
Yes.
But
how
that's
cool
just
is that?
and it's a super great story because it's a complete 180. This
Right.
Army vet who probably has PTSD, has lost both of her legs, gets this dog that's
Saved her life.
her companion, but then and she falls into deep depression, which not to her fault, just everything
Yeah.
she's gone through,
That we
and
can't
can
even
turn it around
imagine.
and then say, you know what, I'm going to not only support the service dogs, but train one and provide it to elementary schools so that other kids don't feel the way that I felt. Like that's
It's amazing that her mindset has just flipped to that and
totally.
wanted to give back so much.
So she's another little hero.
She
today.
definitely is a hero. We have too many
She was
heroes.
an Army sergeant. I mean,
Yeah.
that just takes.
Christy
her,
Gardner.
Her life has been a life of service for sure.
Yes.
So that is awesome. I love that story.
Yeah. And
So-
it's a puppy. So
yeah.
we love puppies. Do you want to talk about some bracelet stories? I think you have.
Sure. Yeah. So
Actually, wait, before we do that, because we talk about hero of the day, let's go into saint of the day really quick.
Okay.
Just so, because we want to, focus on our two hero and saint. So,
We had some awesome heroes today with
Yes.
our positive news stories.
we always tell stories and they're all the heroes, let's be honest.
Yeah, so don't
Adidas
forget to
is a
shout out your
hero.
heroes today.
Yes.
So our saint of the day is Saint Margaret Clitheroe, and she was a very beautiful lady, had a lot of great looks, was super charming, and had a lot of wit, and married a man named John Clitheroe. And a few years after her marriage, she had 2 children, and decided that she wanted to join the Catholic Church. So she wasn't always a Catholic. This is kind of like,
Later in life,
later in life coming to God, and had this super impelling desire to join the Catholic Church. And in fact, her zeal for this Catholicism and everything led her to harbor fugitive priests in her home. And she was then arrested and imprisoned by hostile authorities, and she had a huge sentence, a death sentence, where she was actually stoned to death. And the crazy thing is that she, they just wanted her to proclaim that her faith, or deny her faith, and then they wouldn't have stoned her to death. And she stood
refused.
strong in her faith, and she said, you know what, no, like I did this, and this is my faith, and I will never back down. And something that she said to a friend before her condemnation was, "The sheriffs have said that I'm going to die this coming Friday. I feel weakness of my flesh, which is troubled at this news, but my spirit rejoices. For the love of God, pray for me, and ask all good people to do likewise." So she stood by her faith to her death, she could have escaped death and, you know, felt that burden
Yeah.
probably her whole life, but instead she was a complete martyr
Yeah.
and just laid her life down for God. And I think that's just something we don't, you know, of course that's a huge and significant moment when somebody says, you know, you're going to die. Can you deny your faith right now and you will live? But to be able to lay your life down for Christ, just even in little ways today and throughout this Lenten season and everything, just put yourself
Doesn't
aside.
have to be that.
Yeah. Doesn't have to, you don't have to take her example literally, but just to lay your life down a little bit in little ways for others and for those that you care about and for God. I mean, that's such a selfless way of living, and to, you know, be charming and be this amazing person, but then to completely say, you know what, no, I'm not absorbed in all of that. I'm absorbed in the love of Christ, and that's what makes me who I am, and that's what I'm going to stand by until my death. You know? That's
She just showed so much strength, and this was in 1571, so a long time ago, but just it's incredible. I
we
was
need
reading
saints
her,
of today. We, you know,
Yeah,
all these a lot of
exactly.
these saints that we've been reading over the last couple of weeks have been, or the last
Yeah.
week, have been saints of a long time ago. But we need our saints of today. And by doing selfless things and laying your life down when you feel called and saying yes. I know yesterday was the day of the Annunciation for Mary, and her yes is just such an unwavering yes. You know, an angel comes to her and tells her that she's going to be conceiving the Son of God, and that can be super scary. And you can be like, no, I don't want all of this, but she just says yes. And we
Gave
need
it to the
people-
Lord,
we need the saints of today to just say yes and to answer that call and to step into who you are, because you can be a saint and you're called to be a saint.
Our reflection yesterday was really cool on that, just asking people on the Instagram story, like, what did you say yes to that you normally wouldn't? And some of the responses were truly amazing, even though they're just little. Like, one girl I think said, I finally said yes to pursue an acting career, and it's been a difficult decision my whole life, but I finally just said yes. Like, something that little.
Yeah.
Just take that chance, say yes.
Practice saying yes and practice answering those calls that you feel inside, because normally those tugs are from God.
Right, exactly.
So, yeah. But now we can
talk about bracelets.
talk about some fun bracelet stories for y'all.
Which we still want y'all to send them in to us, please.
Yes, please send them in.
We have
had
been
one
getting-
sent in.
Yeah,
And-
we've gotten a couple, but one Instagram message came in yesterday just saying that this woman.
Her name.
I don't, it's on here.
Okay. that's good.
But if you're listening,
You'll
I
know
saw
who
your
you are.
message. It was this woman. Sorry, my brain is all over the place today. This woman just had a kidney transplant, and it was
From her husband.
From her husband, was a donor, and she speaks at this annual retreat, and so she got the opportunity to speak about this experience, and she just wanted a way to thank all the people who supported her during that time and prayed for her during that time. So she is going to gift all of her supporters and community the Words of Wisdom bracelet. So I don't know, I thought that was really cool, just like a simple gift just to thank them for the prayers and support, and just the fact that the donor was her husband, like it all just comes full circle.
I mean, something like that, any medical, when you're scared for, you know, your life like that, and you're in need of a medical thing, you need a community of prayer behind you to keep you hopeful and to keep you faithful. And I know, like, even when family members of mine have gone through surgery, or, you know, serious surgeries especially, it's that prayer that keeps us going, and that makes us, when we wake up, we're like, thank God, you know, like, I made it through, and God's gonna carry me through whatever my path is, let it be His will. But, you know, it's just that hope and faith in those times.
Right.
And I feel like it's so awesome to be able to have that community and all wear the same bracelet. It's just like, remember that time when you were there.
And they can look down at that and remember that as that time they were there for her and prayed for her, but also they can use that to, you know, relate to other parts of their lives. And we're going to talk about these bracelets in a minute after your bracelet story, but that's our product today, so we can kind of get into that. But I know, we'll talk about it in a minute.
My bracelet story is actually, so the first episode that we did, we shared how one of our most memorable, our first giveaways, And I thought this was super awesome. We have a new customer service gal in our office. She's pretty new, only been with us for a couple months. Her name's Jocelyn, and our customer service manager, when she first started, gave Jocelyn a Serenity bracelet, and just a simple bracelet so that she could, wear it and experience the brand. And she loved this Serenity bracelet. Didn't really know why. Later on, the customer service manager ended up telling her that was one of the Serenity bracelets that was actually blessed by a priest in St. Francis of Assisi's town.
So cool.
And so she had this super significant blessed bracelet, and she could just totally feel it and didn't know why. And I thought that part was cool because the customer service manager didn't tell her up front,
Right.
but she could just feel the power of this bracelet. And she and her sister go every 3 weeks and get their nails done, and they always have like super fun nails, and they come in the office and we're like, oh, what'd you get this time? But she went to get her nails done, and she said as she was doing it, the lady noticed the new bracelet on her wrist, and she commented on it. She said, that's so beautiful, I love that bracelet. And mind you, Serenity is such a simple bracelet. Like, we have so many crystally, flashy bracelets.
Just a simple,
and it's just like this simple bracelet, and the nail lady was like, that's so beautiful, like what does it mean? And Jocelyn, being new, told her the story and just was so passionate about it when she was telling it, and the lady started to cry, and she's like, I just love this because, I feel like my family and, where I come from, we have worked so hard for our work, and that, like, how you're helping women that are struggling for work is just amazing. And Jocelyn took it off her wrist and gave it to her, and then she, they had a hug and they had more emotions coming out and everything, but they shared this moment, and I just loved how this bracelet has passed from the customer service manager to the customer service gal after she found out that it was so special, and still had the conviction to give it off of her wrist and give it to
it says a lot about
the nail lady.
And Jocelyn, like knowing where that bracelet came from and still being willing to take it off her wrist and share it with someone who felt so connected to it as well.
Yeah, and you know what? That lady, you never know how it's going to impact her, and she does things with her hands every single day.
Yep.
She's constantly doing things with her hands, and part of the message of our bracelet is to do good. Use this bracelet as a reminder to do good with your hands. So I just think that that's like super cool,
The fact is nail it. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So I love that.
Jocelyn, shout
out. Way to go, Jocelyn.
How many times can I say shout out today? But
we are going to shout everyone out because you are all awesome and you deserve to be called out.
Exactly. But that we can talk about the product too, because
the Words of Wisdom.
The Words of Wisdom bracelet. So
it's super simple, kind of like the Serenity, kind of modeled after the Serenity a little bit.
Yeah.
But if you know our pieces, you know that we always have that little blessed tag hanging down. So our Words of Wisdom took that tag and put it on that simple cord, and it's just that affirmation. And we have a few different words. I think loved, blessed, courage, peace, strength. So those are just that affirmation that you are loved, you are blessed, and it's a simple little string, simple word, and it's kind of like that whole idea of just like, I don't know, whispering good words and keeping good words around you,
giving your brain the reps.
Yes.
I know. I wear courage.
I wear peace.
I just bought this recently, actually, but it's one thing to sit there like without this and just say like, I'm courageous, like I can get through this, I can do this. But like when you look down at your wrist and just see the word and it's flashing at you, and you might like not even realize that you need to read it at that moment, has made a huge difference, I know, for me, because I do not take, I don't take many of them off, but this is one that
and it's super easy, just like, it's not super in your face, it's not a ton of faith in your face, but it's just like a super neutral, easy to wear, just like a little word of wisdom.
And it comes in gold and silver, and I believe it's $21.
Yeah, it's $21, so great price.
Yeah.
We'll have the link on our page later.
But definitely check them out, like if you just want something a little more simple and just that little reminder.
Or for a
that
friend,
you need.
it's a great gift for a friend to pair with a couple other things. It's a great bracelet.
Yeah.
Super easy. So, love the Words of Wisdom.
Let's to On This Day.
Ooh, On This Day. Those are always
So-
fun. I love the On This Days.
There was, 1953, Dr. Jonas Salk announced a vaccine to prevent polio, which I thought that's a cool.
Monuments in medicine. I love
Yes,
it.
yes. I knew you'd
So,
like that one.
yeah, no more polio.
And then, this is my favorite, but in 1985, Pope John Paul II proclaims the first ever World Youth Day, which,
Holla.
yeah.
World Youth Day is awesome. I want to go so bad.
I've
It's on my
always-
bucket list.
Yeah, mine too. We need to make a trip and do it.
My Saint My Hero's going next time.
It's
When's the next time?
2022, it's in Portugal.
Oh, heck yes.
Yeah, it's just, I've watched videos on it and like,
Isn't it like millions of youth just
millions,
gather
millions.
and praise the Lord, which is awesome.
Yeah, it looks amazing. I had a friend that went in college and she said it was life changing. So.
Also, Pope John Paul II is awesome.
Yes. So I think it happens every 3 years. Yeah. So last one was in Poland, which I'm super Polish, so that would have been.
You're having a little FOMO.
Yeah, I'm having FOMO, but maybe Portugal is in the cards for us soon.
Oh, it's going to be in the cards, and you guys should all join us.
Yes.
If you're a youth.
Or if you've been,
Or
if
if
you're
you've
a youth
been.
and have been and
Tell
have,
your story. Share with us because we want to know what it's like. So.
yes, I definitely on the bucket list.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so we want to end off, as we always end off, with our reflection of the day. Just to leave you with something to think about, something throughout your day to just ponder, on top of the saying yes part
Yes.
from yesterday.
We have a lot of tasks for you all. All right, so this is Matthew 18:21 through 35. Peter approached Jesus and asked him, "Lord, if my brother sins against me, how often must I forgive him? As many as 7 times?" Jesus answered, "I say to you, not 7 times, but 77 times. That is why the kingdom of heaven may be likened to a king who decided to settle accounts with his servants. When he began the accounting, a debtor was brought before him who owed him a huge amount. Since he had no way of paying it back, his master ordered him to be sold, along with his wife, his children, and all his property in payment of the debt. At that, the servant fell down, did him homage, and said, 'Be patient with me, and I will pay you back in full.' Moved with compassion, the master of that servant let him go and forgave him the loan. When that servant had left, he found one of his fellow servants who owed him a much smaller amount. He seized him and started to choke him, demanding, 'Pay back what you owe.' Falling to his knees, his fellow servant begged him, 'Be patient with me, I will pay you back.' But he refused. Instead, he had him put in prison until he paid back the debt. Now when his fellow servants saw what had happened, they were deeply disturbed and went to their master and reported the whole affair. His master summoned him and said to him, 'You wicked servant, I forgave you your entire debt because you begged me to. Should you not have had pity on your fellow servant as I had pity on you?' Then in anger his master handed him over the torturers until he should pay back the whole debt. So will my heavenly Father do to you unless each of you forgive your brother from your heart."
Forgiveness. I love the 77 times. And it's just that infinite amount of forgiveness. I actually had a friend that had a tattoo of that on her wrist.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was really cool. But let me read you guys the question that we're going to leave you with. And it's, how willing to forgive are you? In moments of betrayal and hurt, do you remind yourself of how merciful God is? So,
Yeah.
how willing to forgive are
I'm
you?
over here thinking about it. I'm like,
How willing
Yeah.
to forgive are you? I mean,
I think we can all
Forgiveness.
learn about forgiveness. Like, I think it's always something that's difficult for many people, but it's just working through that and looking at the
and as
greater
you
good.
forgive, like things that hurt more and more, you experience the mercy of God, I feel like, within a little bit more. It's so hard, and I fall to this fault all the time. You know, in that moment when somebody acts against you, or when you just really don't like their behavior toward you, it's so hard to sit there and say, I love you and I forgive you, and how to act in that moment in a Christ-like way. That's like the true testing moment.
Yeah.
If you can, in those moments, you know, call
Yeah.
on God and ask and fulfill that mission of just, you know, being a good person in that moment, that is just those are the true trial moments, I feel like. And
It's also such a weight lifted off your shoulders too that you don't really feel when you're holding it in, but once you do forgive
that's
that
so
person,
true.
it's just like you can take that deep breath and just you're not holding on to this anger anymore. You're
That's so
getting
true.
it.
I don't even think about that a lot of times,
Mhm.
about the weight being lifted up. I just think about how hard it is to, in that moment, turn around and be kind to the person,
Mhm.
or to not even be kind, just to forgive.
Right.
You know? To truly forgive from deep within, not just to say.
not just to say it surface
you
level.
forgive.
Yeah.
But so we'll leave you off with this. How willing to forgive are you? And in moments of betrayal and hurt, do you remind yourself of how merciful God is? We'll have a call to action,
Yes.
and you can
On the
answer
story.
the poll on the story. Something fun to look forward to next time, Thursday.
Mhm.
We will be tuning in from a different location.
Yes, we will.
And
We'll be
we
in
will have a
Austin.
little bit
so.
different of a setting.
It might not be as long, but we'll make it really fun and
It'll definitely bring a smile to your face.
yes, stay
So-
tuned. And when we do travel, we'll take y'all with us.
Oh,
But
we
it
will
might
always
just-
take you with us.
It might just not be this setting. So yes, I forgot about that. That's gonna be something definitely to look forward
Super
to.
fun.
Yes.
Guys, tune in on Thursday.
All right.
Thank you. Happy half hour. See you next time.